Hello, you're watching X, and today let's talk about a recently just finished airing Chinese web drama, 看不见影子的少年, Lost in the Shadows. This is an iQIYI web drama belonging to its 迷雾剧场 light on the mystery, crime, thriller drama category. This drama is 16 episodes. It is led by Zhang Songwen, Rong Zishan, trying to jog your memory of the bad kids. The drama also features other actors such as Cheng Tai-shen, Li Jian, Chen Yusi. They have all, I think, showed up in other iQIYI dramas. It also features Guo Keyu, an actress who hasn't been around for many years now. When she started her career, she played the leading role of a very influential and very important movie in Chinese movie history, Hong Yingtao. If you haven't watched the movie, I would highly recommend you check it out. It's pretty brutal, offering some shocking cinema imagery that probably will stick with you forever once you've watched it, so be warned about that. She didn't continue basically doing much acting afterwards. I was so surprised to see her. It just reads iQIYI really wants to create a second The Bad Kids. Did they succeed? Not really. Unfortunately, it is not to be for this drama. All I can say is it probably wouldn't end up on a negative end for many people, but it's unlikely to impress anybody. Let me now tell you what the story roughly is about without spoiling it too much, because it is a mystery crime drama, so you don't really want to spoil it. And then what I think is good and not good about this drama. This is a set in 1990s, small city, I'd say, in China's story, and it's mostly about missing children. Our main lead character, who is the 看不见影子少年, literally means a youth whose shadow cannot be seen, would be played by Rong Zishan. Late teen, is like 18, 19-year-old. Supposedly was missing for 3 years from a family. Now he returns. Very easily you can tell he doesn't seem to really be that person that he claims to be or his family claims him to be, and something weird is going on. A couple of really complicated murder, death, whatever cases that happened prior, and even older things happened prior to those, all get disturbed and eventually discovered by the returning of the missing kid. And then Zhang Songwen is a policeman who works in this town. His own personal story also gets entangled into all the investigation of a lot of old cold cases and stuff. And the actor Cheng Tai-shen plays another very important role, who is supposedly the father of this missing kid. Not biologically related, because it's like the marriage of him and his current wife are from previous families. They got divorced and they marry again. They each bring a kid into the family, so the kids are sister and brother, but they're not biologically related. The father is not related to the son and the mother is not related to the daughter, that type of family. At the end of the whole thing, most of the mysteries of the past would have been solved, but certain things are just left not fully explained because technically nobody knows what happened. So that would be the 16 episodes of story. It will include kidnapping of kids, it will include human trafficking, particularly of children, it will include obviously finding missing kids, it will include murder and then covering up with murder and then blackmailing and all those type of things. All the elements, let's say, that this 16 episodes of mystery drama from Light On contains. Now let's get to the good and bad part, and then why I think unfortunately this is a very failed attempt to recreate the success of The Bad Kids. On the positive end first, the overall production quality of this drama is acceptable, so you wouldn't get too disturbed by very poor standard of production that can happen to Chinese dramas. Number two, if you are a fan of Zhang Songwen or Rong Zishan's acting, while I didn't enjoy most of the drama's detective plot, mystery plot, I find it mediocre and sometimes boring. I do have to say, when it comes to certain very strong acting moments between these two actors, it does work. They are really convincing. As two people who appreciate each other, understand each other. In this drama, they're not biologically father and son, but they almost operate in that way, and it feels like because the actors too, they know each other too well for too many years. They really can convince you that they really care genuinely about each other as human beings. And often the flow of energy between them is on a different level than say when they're acting opposite other people. They live in their little bubble in this whole drama, and certain sequences and things when they're playing off each other's energy reads really almost like improvised completely. Like I ship them basically when they're together and certain moments happen. I'm like, oh, that's so adorable. So I really enjoyed watching Zhang Zongwen and Rong Zishan. If you really like them as the father and son, or just as two actors in general, and you enjoying their chemistry, you can check out this drama for a bit, just for those moments. They really worked, even though you have to then understand what the plot is and how they arrive at there. And then to understand all the plot, you have to watch all the other parts of the drama you may not enjoy that much. So that's a problem for this drama. Number 3, for all the other people who are playing other essential roles of this drama, I have a feeling that most of the audiences may have an uneven experience of certain characters and certain actors' performances really speak to them and certain actors don't. It's unlikely that they all speak to you on the same level. But overall, it still makes the drama, at least I'd say everyone is doing a proper job as an actor. The last positive point, I'd still put it on the positive end, would be, although I don't think the mystery element, the detective element, the figuring out things element of the drama is that well written and engaging and exciting, it overall made sense. I'd say 80% of the drama is acceptable. And these are really all the good things I can think of it. So specifically, what are not so good about this drama? First point, maybe not that important, but maybe very, very important, which is visual style of it is extremely lacking personality and flair. First, they pick a very commonly used color grading style for, say, setting 1990s story. So it's slightly back in time, but not so far away. They tend to really like using this type of yellowish green kind of filter or color grading style on 90s setting drama somehow on iQIYI, because it's so on the warm and yellow side of things most of the time. It's like you have nighttime shift switched on for this whole drama. And it doesn't really help the genre of the drama, which is a mystery breaking drama. You want a little bit alertness from the audiences, right? You want people to be awake, to look at the clues, to figure out what's going on, go along with the story, feeling attention is like lifted all the time. Whereas this very warm tone of the visuals constantly makes you go, I'm about to doze off. And then in terms of all the things that goes into a visual story, how you link them together, how you pace it, what kind of atmosphere you're trying to create with music, with everything, it just doesn't have any distinctive attention-grabbing style or for the audiences to immediately get what you're trying to do. If you compare it to the Bad Kids, it's so distinctively different. That drama is done by a director who used to be a band singer and leader, and he's in music industry. He makes music videos and he understands how the energy of visual should be working. Bad Kids visual language is extremely engaging. You almost immediately understand what the story is trying to set up, and it's extremely effective. First episode, everybody is talking about it on China's internet already, and it's not just because the story is well written or the pacing is right. It's also like every detail of the visual is under masterful control, whereas this one is just so, after watching 16 episodes, I really cannot tell what they're trying to do. It seems to have zero personality, and I find it really, really boring. Number 2, related to what I said on the positive end, which is at least 80% of the logic still works out for the drama, although it's not that exciting. But the part that may trigger somebody or may make them completely give up on this drama and say, oh, okay, I don't believe it. You're just make believe. You're trying to force a very hard to happen, very coincidental thing, becoming the sole base upon which the whole logic of the story can work. And you're just trying to hard feed the audiences and make us believe that. Now, here comes to the spoiler part. If you don't want to hear it, just skip to this time code. In this story, Rong Zishan's role is a young man who's actually not in any way related to either Cheng Taishen character's family, including supposedly his biological mother, or Zhang Zongwen's character. So he's actually a kid who's been homeless pretty much all his life, and he doesn't remember where he comes from. The only reason that he ended up being mistakenly taken in by a family that has lost their son for 3 years is because he almost looked like 99% identical to that missing kid. And the only difference is his shoe sizes is a little bit different. His head size is slightly different, so they wear different sizes of clothing. And you have to believe that, because at the end, when you finish watching the whole story, it is the case. Like, this really is a kid who's not related to anybody in the story. He just happens to be a kid who just looks like the other kid. I'm not saying it's not happening. We have an 8 billion human beings world. It could happen, and there are people who really are completely unrelated looking like each other. But given the story circumstances, this one thing is already extremely hard to believe. Then on top of that, this story will give you a lot of not exactly make-believe situation, but like you have to have things happen in such a coincidental way so that this unfolding thing causes the next thing, causes the next thing, and eventually lead up to this mess that we have at the beginning of the story that eventually will get kind of like sorted out, kind of. And I feel because of this not really can always convince you set up of the story, every hard work people put on top of it is like standing on a base of very loose crumbs that can easily be crushed and broken. I have a problem still by the end of the story. I am not 100% convinced or like sold on this whole setup of, yeah, this kid just showed up. It's just too convenient. I'm not so happy with this type of drama. To me, I feel if you are writing twists and turns, you can have coincidences, but you have to create it in a way that is so 情理之中,意料之外, which means it is very unexpected, but actually completely fully within reason. So that's why this is not to me first class detective crime mystery solving story. The last thing about this drama, I'd say overall, is it is not a very well-paced, exciting story as a mystery-solving story. In an ideal world, should make it extremely heavy with hooks. Every turn of the scene, every moment, like even with editing, right? This pace needs to be so well calculated, and all the cliffhangers need to be so well designed, and it has to be just one chapter after chapter pushing forward, and it just hooks you onto it. And the ride of such a story just needs really well structured and planned way of unfolding a story. It's one of the hardest type of story to write because basically the writer has to be really clever, slightly outsmart the audiences to provide the most amount of entertainment. Unfortunately, this is just not such a story. For mystery dramas, there are different styles you can go. Is the plot, the figuring out who did what part of the drama, is it well written? Intellectually engaging for the audiences? No. So that department is like a C or something, right? It didn't fail, but it's like close to not being impressive. Did it then look really deep into human condition, right? It dig really deep into the good and bad parts of our human nature, as usually this type of drama would be touching on. Did it really do a good job? No. Then did it have very distinctive style, expression, visual, ways of telling the story that you kind of haven't seen, or you can clearly tell this creative team have their very thoughtful plan and they have something they want to express. That's totally different from what other people do. Not really either. Then what are you left with? You really have no other ways to make your drama stand out among the crowd. When I first saw the trailer among many trailers that iQIYI put out that week, I already had the feeling just based on the trailer that it's not gonna be really that well done. As the airing of the drama was announced, it released a new trailer, and I watched that trailer and I told my friend, I was like, I have a bad feeling about this. This is not gonna be anywhere close to the Bad Kids. Turns out I pretty much guessed it. Spot on. The best it did is not to completely fail. And to me, that's just not enough. And I'm pretty sure by the end of 2024, I would have forgotten 90% of the plot of this story. So that's my honest opinion about the drama 看不见影子的少年 Lost in the Shadows, the new 16 episodes crime mystery drama from iQIYI 迷雾剧场. What a disappointment, I'd say. Up to this point of Chinese drama land in 2024, I'm still waiting for that one Chinese drama that really made me feel, oh, now if I think back in time about what happened every year, 2024 will be anchored by this drama. Like, I need a drama. If I have to say every year, just pick one drama that will immediately say, situate me in time. What happened in 2017? I will situate immediately into Tomatoes of Peach Blossoms. 2018, I was situating myself immediately with Guardian. 2019, probably Untamed, right? Easy to count these because they immediately come to you. You don't even have to think, like 2021, Word of Honor. If you ask me 2024 up to now, June already, I'm like, nothing. For a Chinese drama review channel, that's a really bad situation. It's like crop failure on a mass scale that you have nothing you can do to control or mediate. For everybody out there who in anywhere cares a little bit about Chinese drama, then let's pray together that just like get one miracle. Can we just have one? One. Not too much to ask, isn't it? For the next 6 months to come this year. Thank you for watching. I'm New X. I'll see you in my next video. Meanwhile, live long and happy drama watching.